Imagine this. You leap into the past, undo that awkward moment at the party, or skip ahead to dodge the Monday blues. What if time wasn't some unstoppable force ticking away but just another direction, like walking left or right? Could you change the past? Time travel sounds like science fiction, but here's the kicker. We're already traveling through time. Every single day. Just really, really slowly. In fact, thanks to Albert Einstein's work, we know that time isn't a constant. It's flexible, a bit like rubber. Time and space are connected, forming a four-dimensional structure called space-time. Einstein's theory of relativity tells us something wild. Time can stretch, squeeze, or slow down depending on how fast you're moving. This means that, in theory, traveling into the future isn't just possible. It's already happening. But before we get to that, let's explore how time behaves differently when we move faster. The faster you travel, the slower time passes for you. It's called time dilation. If you were on a spaceship traveling at 99.9% of the speed of light, 2 years might pass for you. But when you return to Earth, 80 years would have gone by. This isn't just some theory pulled from a sci-fi flick. It's backed by real-world experiments. One of the most famous tests of time dilation involved highly accurate atomic clocks. In 1971, physicists Joseph Haffel and Richard Keating flew synchronized atomic clocks around the world on commercial airliners. When they compared the airborne clocks to those left on the ground, the airborne ones had ticked slightly slower. This wasn't a fluke. Einstein's equations predicted it. The clocks were moving fast enough that time for them slowed down, proving that time dilation isn't just a theoretical idea, but a measurable effect. The same principle holds true for astronauts. In 2016, astronaut Scott Kelly spent nearly a year on the International Space Station. When he returned, he was about 13 milliseconds younger than he would have been if he'd stayed on Earth. While 13 milliseconds won't let you skip your next meeting, it proves that traveling to the future is more than a fantasy. It's a scientific fact. Traveling into the future is doable, but the past? That's where things get messy. According to the second law of thermodynamics, the universe naturally moves toward more disorder, or entropy. Time flows in one direction, forward. Going back in time, if even possible, might create paradoxes that mess with the very structure of reality. Take the grandfather paradox as an example. Imagine traveling back to stop your grandparents from meeting. If they never meet, your parents aren't born, and neither are you. But if you don't exist, who went back to stop them from meeting? This logical nightmare is why most scientists believe time travel to the past isn't just improbable. It might be impossible without causing some cosmic headaches. If traveling backward in time is out of reach, some scientists think wormholes might offer a loophole. These are theoretical tunnels in space-time that could connect distant locations, or even different moments in time. Physicist Kip Thorne, a leading expert in gravitational physics, has explored the idea that if we could stretch a wormhole wide enough and stabilize it, it could act like a time portal. But wormholes are tricky. Current theory suggests they're incredibly tiny, smaller than a subatomic particle, and would collapse in an instant. Even if we could stretch one open and keep it stable, the energy required would be astronomical. And there's the added risk of paradoxes. If someone went back in time through a wormhole, would it create alternate realities? Or would time snap back into place like a rubber band? To experience significant time travel, we'd need to travel at near light speed, roughly 299 million meters per second. But there's a catch. According to Einstein, nothing with mass can reach the speed of light. The closer you get to that speed, the more energy it takes, and eventually, it becomes impossible. Even if we built a spacecraft that could come close, the GWARSes would squash any human aboard like a pancake. To put things in perspective, the fastest manned vehicle we've ever created was Apollo 10, which reached 11,000 meters per second, just a fraction of what's needed to experience true time travel. If we want to explore time on a meaningful scale, we'll need to rethink everything about space travel, from propulsion systems to shielding humans from the forces involved. Now, here's the big question. If we did manage to invent a functioning time machine, would you step inside, knowing there's no guarantee where or when you'd end up? What if the future isn't what you expect? What if there's no civilization left, just endless deserts and abandoned cities? Or what if pizza has been outlawed? Some timelines are better left unexplored. But before you answer that, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what would happen if we lost all the oceans on Earth? No more waves crashing, no more rainstorms, and no more seafood. Could humanity survive without oceans? Or would we be totally doomed? If that idea piqued your curiosity, check out my recent video. Things get really bad, really fast. But hey, there might be some surprises along the way. Time travel, wormholes, and alternate realities. Our universe is full of mysteries. Maybe one day we'll figure out how to move through time just like we travel through space. Until then, we're stuck moving forward at the pace of 1 second per second. It's not flashy, but it's still time travel, just on a small, everyday scale. So, whether you're dreaming of the future or dreading the past, remember this. The best part of time travel is the journey itself. And who knows? The future might hold more than just flying cars and robot butlers. But until that day comes, let's keep exploring the wild possibilities, one video at a time.